Hey guys, Scott Stewart here. So today we are going to talk once again about the subject of remote ID for RC aircraft. Now, this is a video that I wasn't originally anticipating doing, but I, much like a lot of you, have in the last week or two been following, reading, watching, listening, absorbing all of the discussion, all of the speculation, all of the rumors, and all of the updates on remote ID and FRIAs and all of that. Now, there's one person's content in particular that in the last week has really caught my attention, and that is a YouTuber by the name of Bruce. He's known as xjet. That's his handle online, and he's got a very successful channel. He's got thousands of subscribers. I want to say he's got millions of views. If you compile all of his videos together, he's got well over 1 million views probably. He's really got a successful channel. He's also got a share of critics, which that would be expected with anybody that's got that big of a following. And it's interesting, he mentions one of those critics in one of the videos that he did about a month ago. He talks about how somebody accuses him of being a fake YouTuber. I think he said so-called YouTuber. Now, I wouldn't categorize Bruce that way at all. I think he's a very good YouTuber. His production is very professional. He makes things look good, and his presentation is very good. He knows how to present his ideas, his thoughts in a way that has a professional amount of clarity to him. You could walk away and understand what he's saying. So he's a good YouTuber. He is very convincing. When he presents his case, he presents it in such a way that you walk away from his video and you go, wow, it's like a light bulb goes off. He must be telling me the truth. But he's also very slick. He has a way of giving you 90% of the truth, but maybe there's one word in there that's either inserted or omitted that changes the whole dynamic of the message. I'm going to show you an example of that here in just a minute, but before I do, last but not least, he's very much a doomsdayer, and dare I even say a bit of a conspiracy theorist. He's always pointing out how anything that the FAA or even the AMA does with regards to regulations, rules, it's all the end of the hobby. It's going to end it all. You know, this next one is going to end it all. That's it. And I want to key in on 2 videos that he's done just in the last week that have been centered specifically around the extension that the FAA has put out on remote ID enforcement. Originally, the ruling was going to go into effect on September 16th, and the enforcement. Now they're saying it's not going to be enforced until March 16th, but supposedly the ruling is still in place on September 16th. So Bruce is trying to make the case that if you are not in compliance with remote ID, if you get into an accident with your drone or your RC plane, the insurance isn't going to cover you because you're not following the law, and insurance companies don't cover people that don't follow the law. And again, when he says this, it sounds like, wow, I think you're right about that. But let me come back. There's a statement that he makes here on his first of the 2 videos that I'm talking about. Let me put this back on so you can get the full effect. He says, if you've dealt with insurance companies in the past, you may have encountered situations where they have tried everything they can to avoid paying you out. Now, I'm going to keep the tinfoil hat on when he says that, because that's absolutely true. Insurance companies are notorious for trying to find loopholes into paying you out of a claim. So he's not wrong. I actually agree with that. But let's key in on one word specifically. Once again, he says, if you've dealt with insurance companies in the past, you may have encountered situations where they have tried everything they can to avoid paying you out. Now, wait a minute. Now, I don't know who you might be insured with, but I'm insured through the AMA. I only have liability, okay? What does liability cover? Well, let's say I am flying my RC plane and I crash into somebody's car. It's not me who gets paid out. Okay, this isn't a personal claim. This is a liability claim. It's the victim that gets paid out. I don't know how things are maybe in New Zealand, and I'm pretty sure it's the same there as it is here. I've never known a case where somebody has been in some sort of an at-fault accident. Let me give you a scenario. Let's say you get drunk, get into your car, and you drive, which you shouldn't do. You get in your car and you drive down the street recklessly, drunk, all over the place, and you slam into a family of 5. Your insurance company is going to cover that person or that family that you hit. Oh, but wait a minute. You weren't following the law. You were driving drunk. No kidding. It's not me that's getting paid out. It's the victim that's getting paid out. So, again, one word, he says, trying everything they can not to pay you out. Well, they're not going to try to pay you. They're going to try to pay who you hit. Okay, or who you got into an accident with. You're flying your drone, you go out in the middle of a highway, you slam into a car. Your insurance is there to cover the person you hit, the person whose car you damaged, or heaven forbid if you hurt somebody, to cover that person's medical bills. It's not to cover you. So when he says it that way, again, there's that word that changes the dynamic. It makes it sound accurate, but it's really not. Last thing I'll point out, he says in his video, in both of his videos, again, to kind of make things convincing, well, if you don't believe me, folks, just call your insurance company and ask them. Well, I did that. I called the AMA, and I was going to post a quote from a statement they made, but no sooner was I getting ready to present that and paste it together nicely for this video than the AMA, as of today, made a statement on their website, on a video, that AMA member benefits are not contingent on remote ID. What are AMA benefits? Well, one of them is insurance. So, Bruce, there's the answer to your question. So, let's get rid of this thing. Let's stop being conspiracy theorists. Let's stop being doomsdayers, because all that's doing is creating needless anxiety and really bringing down the overall morale of the entire hobby. And let's just let things move as they're going to move. The FAA will make statements as the information comes out. Listen, I'm not a fan of this whole remote ID thing at all. Okay, I think it's useless, and I talked about that on the last video that I did. But that's beside the point. We're here, the ruling is into effect. Let's not make more out of it than it already is by creating theories, conspiracy theories on things that probably will never materialize. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been helpful, and if you have any thoughts, questions, or even disagreements, feel free to leave a comment down below. Happy to hear what any of you have to say on this. And Bruce, if you're watching, please comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, especially now that there actually has been a statement that's come out that's answered your question. So thank you for watching, folks. And as always, fly safe.